So talking about now the other side of that, the actual money side, what are some of the biggest cash flow killers for landlords?
Yeah, I think it's some of the unexpected costs of real estate that end up eating at somebody. I think this comes even when you use like deal calculators and you think about this. And I think underestimating the cost side of the equation, just looking at the revenue side or looking at revenue against mortgage payment, there's a lot of costs that go into being profitable with a real estate portfolio beyond the rent that comes in and the mortgage payment that goes out. There's things for repairs. There's things for vacancy time, how long that unit's going to sit on the market when a tenant turns over and you need to fill it with a new tenant in there. And so the more that you can do to reduce that vacancy time, reduce those unexpected costs, factoring in, are you going to use a property manager? Are you not? Are you like, if you aren't, are you going to use something that's going to, scale in cost as you grow or not? All play a factor. Like one of those like pieces that I think we play a part in I found a lot of pride in was that I saw a lot of people that were kind of struggling between this like choice of property manager, do it myself. They were using a lot of spreadsheets, and I was trying to understand why they were using spreadsheets. And so many of them talked about like being taxed for your growth. Like you have this increasing cost as you grow, and it makes the like economies of scale actually harder in some ways. And so our approach to that was by saying, okay, could we basically go up against some of these very, very large providers of things that landlords need, and basically say, treat everybody in this group as one giant portfolio and discount them in the process of that. And so that's what we've been able to accomplish at this point with places like the tenant screening for the rent payments, for even maintenance coordination. For landlords to be able to get them vendors at better rates. And it's because we're not being treated as, somebody with 5 units and 10 units in 1 unit, but rather this giant portfolio of hundreds of thousands of units, billions in assets that are saying, hey, we're negotiating together for this. And it's been really exciting to see. I think one of the fun ones has been on that's almost been kind of segmented to the enterprise space and the independent landlords haven't had access to for years, has been that maintenance coordination side. If you're a really, really, really big property manager or really big landlord in like the tens of thousands of units, you have this ability to negotiate with vendors because you're doing enough volume on deals. We've been able to actually work with a company called Lesson and Latchel that basically do maintenance issues in the magnitude of 3 million work orders a year in Lesson's case. And they traditionally only worked with enterprise landlords. And what we're able to do is basically like plug in our system into theirs, basically say, if somebody wants to, we want you to like source from your pre-vetted vendors that you've negotiated rates down for, find them, book them, fix the problem. And you get almost that like passive side to the maintenance. You're still overseeing it, but you're not paying like the retail rates on it anymore. And it's been really exciting to see. We've done the same thing with Home Depot, where we basically are able to treat the whole platform as one spending group. And so they get discounted, and you're just going to like go to Home Depot and buy your, roofing or replacing a wall or a toilet or anything else, paint, and basically it discounts the group as a whole. And it's been really fun to see that, I think there's a lot of beauty in this great book called The Wisdom of Crowds that I like a lot. It talks about like how the crowd actually makes better decisions. And I think the same thing is true in kind of the strength of numbers approach of, as you get this bigger and bigger group, that group can actually help themselves more. And so it's been fun to try to play a small part in that. But I think there's a lot of aspects, ultimately, to your point, that play a piece in that are the cost side of the business, having insight into what you're spending money on, and being able to segregate that out that goes beyond your Schedule E or tax season, but rather on an ongoing basis, how much you're spending or taking in on any given unit or property.